Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mo. I'm a working mom who's on her journey to reach financial freedom. On this channel, we're going to be talking about all things budgeting, debts, and savings. So if that's something you're interested in, I'd love to have you subscribe. We're loosely Ramsey inspired, all while keeping in mind that this is real life. So without further ado, welcome to The Real Budget. Hey all my friends, today we are going to be doing our March budget closeout, and we are going to see how I did on these goals and how I estimated everything. So to start, I'm going to say that March was a magic month for us. I got paid 3 times instead of 2 times this month. So I had originally included that in my income, but since that last Friday paycheck was on the 30th, I think it was, most of the week that it's going to be used for is April. So I have decided to move that into my April budget because I'm using most of it for my rent payment for April. So these numbers are going to be off, mostly because of that. And secondly, because we are going on a trip in Alaska this summer. My sister-in-law is getting married there. So we're going to turn it into a little bit of a vacation. But we decided to open up a airline's credit card with a promotional deal to get a free companion pass and just about all the points we need to be able to get there. We decided to do that in the middle of this month, which I had not accounted for. So I will update you guys on that too. Anyway, let's get into it. So this month I brought in $6,186.02. So that was 2 of my paychecks instead of 3. That's why it's so much lower. My husband brought in $3,227.31. And in his side hustle number 1, he brought in $1,032. And then side hustle number 2, he brought in $346.16. Okay, I don't know if this marker is going to work, you guys. I wanted to try to do it in another color. Let me finish writing out my income in this color and then we're probably going to change. So instead of the $13,449, we brought in $10,791.81. And then we had a rollover and an Alaska sinking fund that we cashed out of $709.94. So total to work with this month, we had $11,501.75. Okay, I'm gonna get another pen because this one's too thick. Okay, I don't have another thin colored pen, but this is different, so it may look thinner. We'll just try to go that way. So these are not gonna be due dates, these are gonna be actuals in this column. We actually paid $18.55 in rent. Our bills was actually $746.37. That is because I left a few things out when I calculated it at the beginning of the month. I think I forgot to include like Wi-Fi, maybe our phone. There was a couple of things. March is the first month that I've budgeted ahead of time. So, you know, I was doing my best trying to go through our statements and our records and write everything down, but it's all a learning experience. So I will fix it for April. But we spent $746.37 on our bills, power, gas, water, etc. Our SUV paid $664.14. Subscriptions, we paid $191.72. Now, if y'all know from February, going into February, I had no idea how much we spent on subscriptions. It ended up being like $270 or something like that for the month of February. We cut out a lot of things and I thought we had cut it down to about $120. Apparently we've cut it down to $191.72. So I'm going to go back through and look if there's anything else we can cut down, or if some of the things we said we were going to cancel had to be billed one more time in March. We'll see. Credit cards, we paid $637.60. Student loans, we paid $872.80. Our attorney, we did pay the $1,500. We pay her up to a retainer. It's not a debt. We're paying up to a retainer We pay every Friday $300. There was 5 Fridays in the month of March, so we paid her $1,500. Childcare, I ended up paying my mom $300 instead of the $450, and I'm rolling that extra $150 over into April. Also, for those of you that are new here, my mother watches our baby when both my husband and my work overlap. So the weeks I work, that ends up being only about $150. It is a true blessing to have my mother do that for us. And I pay her on the Fridays I get paid. That last Friday was when I got paid. I paid her, but I'm gonna write that in my March my March expenses. Other debts besides credit cards that we have, we did pay $749.45. And then insurance, we paid $348.45. I forgot that we have one additional insurance policy that comes out at $21 a month on top of all the ones I did account for. So total, we paid $7,865.53 in fixed expenses in the month of March. Groceries, I account for about $300 a week, so that would be $1,500. Since I'm taking a week out, I would have expected it to have been around $1,200. We spent $1,165.86. Gas, we spent $247.64. And then here we start with our overages. I had accounted for about $750 for eating out. My sister-in-law ended up coming to stay with us from Alaska for about a week. So we took them, my mother-in-law, everybody out to eat about twice, in addition to our regular patterns of eating out, which I do know we need to work on. So total, we spent $847.11. This is a work in progress. Go back and look at my first videos. I had counted up from January and December how much we were eating out a month, and it was like $1,100 between just our family. So this with company is still coming down, but we can do better. Gas station trips. My husband works out of a car. The man likes to go get a cold drink. The man likes to get what it may be that you get at the gas station. I get something every now and then. Anyway, that's something that we've kind of worked down some, but we're gonna keep allotting for. $198.70 on that. We had a flight we had to pay for this month. It is not a flight to Alaska. It is another flight that we just had to pay for. I thought it was gonna be about $350. It ended up being $270.98. School meals, I thought we were gonna have to put $120 on there. We ended up only having to put $52.75. And then this was my daughter's last month enrolling in gymnastics. I thought it was gonna be $58, it was $57. So total in variable expenses, we ended up paying $2,840.04. So down to my projected sinking funds. I thought that we were gonna put an additional $700 towards our Alaska trip this month. We ended up getting that promotional offer from an airline. So we decided not to put actual cash aside for our Alaska trip, but to put the amount that we needed on this card, and then we were gonna try to pay it off, if not by the first interest cycle that hits at the end of April, but the one after that. And we'll be getting, basically free flights for both of us. So I'm gonna be honest with y'all, and I'm gonna tell y'all how much we have on that card at the end of this, and then I'll be honest with y'all along the way how much we are paying on it and how much we end up paying in interest to see if it really was a good deal or not. So let's see, Alaska, we didn't put anything. Personal hygiene, now I know we spent money on personal hygiene this month, but it must have been when I went to Walmart or I went, somewhere else like that, because I didn't allocate that anytime in any of my weekly check-ins. So I think some of it came out of this groceries fund or maybe our spending down here, but nothing accounted for in that specific category. Kindness, we budgeted $50. What we ended up doing actually cost $67.98. Gifts for birthday parties that we went to, I said $60. We ended up spending $79.91. Family fun, we did spend $200. Our date, we spent $147.02. Household, I only budgeted $100, and that is a learning experience for me, especially when I know I'm gonna have company, which was part of the problem. I didn't remember that we were gonna have company. So I had only budgeted $100. We spent like triple that at $292.55. Clothing, me and my daughter needed new clothes. For us, I spent about $150, I think, for both of us, and I'm gonna try to sell some of our old stuff to replace that extra $50 that I had spent, but I did not account for my husband needing some new clothes, and that man deserves new clothes. He literally never buys clothes, and with the changing of the season, he needed some. So we went ahead and did it, and we spent a total of $318.47 on clothing. That is not a monthly category for us. We're just not big clothes buyers. Spending, I said $100. We spent $155.70. And then miscellaneous, I only said $112. And if y'all saw one of my other videos this month, you'll know that as I was driving down the interstate on the way to work, a huge rock out of a rock truck, not like a pebble, like almost like river rock, came flying out of the truck and just demolished my windshield. Like I couldn't see to drive through it, basically. So we went ahead and had to get that fixed. It was $400 plus some tax. So we ended up spending $520.66 this month on miscellaneous. So total here, we spent $1782.29. Extra debt, I was hoping we would have $800 to put towards extra debt. Now I'm gonna write down here the extra debt payments we did make. We caught up on our registration. We paid $300.40, and that is paid off. That is so exciting. We also paid my Capital One S card at $256.13, and that is paid off too. We put an extra $300 to get up to the retainer for our lawyer so that we could stop spending like $1,200 a month for that. So we are $300 in, we are at our retainer for our lawyer. So unless through this process she goes over that retainer, we are done paying for now. That is so exciting. And then we have a bread loan, and we accidentally put an extra payment on it. I'm not mad. We put an extra $89.46 that is not paid off, but our balance is much lower. And then I told you guys with overages from these weeks, we were gonna put that straight towards the airline card that we opened. So we did make one airline payment at $169.78. So total in extra debt, let's see, I did not have that one added up. Let me add that, $340. We spent $1,115.77 on extra debt this month. So that's super exciting. We got 3 things, paid off. Here is kind of where it gets tricky. Because I decided not to include my third paycheck that was paid on March 30th, but I'm gonna use for April, the value that we actually spent is over this $11,501. And that value is about how much is on our airline card right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the math. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, and then we can try to pay that down and get our free airline tickets. So all of these expenses together equals $13,603.63. including the extra debts we paid off. And this month we had $11,501.75. So that puts us in the hole for the month, $2,101.88, which is really scary to think about. And that's about how much is on that airline card. But if you guys remember, I have already been paid another paycheck on March 30th that I'm going to use for April, which is more than this. My paychecks are more than this. So technically we're not really in the hole. I'm just closing out a month here. And then I'm going to hop over to my goals, and I'm going to say we paid off Capital One S. We did pay off our lawyer, and we did pay off our registration. So I'm super excited about this, meeting all 3 of our goals. So if you guys are interested in seeing that, please press subscribe, press the alerts button. If you like this one, it helps my channel, and it helps it get out to more people. And then I will go ahead and I will start on our April budget, and I will upload that next. I'm so excited to be with you guys again, and I'll see you next time. Bye.